All right, today we are getting into a really powerful story of transformation. It's about a journey from the absolute depths of addiction all the way to a life of national service. And it's all driven by this need to pay back what the source material calls a shadow debt. This is a story about how you can turn some of the worst pain imaginable into a profound sense of purpose. Let's dive in.
The whole thing kicks off with this line right here, and it just sets the scene perfectly. We're not talking about some spooky haunting, no. This is about the real ghosts, the ones that we all carry with us. Our regrets, our mistakes, the trust we've broken. It lets you know right from the jump this story is going to be personal. And this is the key to the whole thing. From here on out, we're putting this story in the second person. So you are the main character. We're stepping right into your shoes in October of 2025 on a path that hasn't happened yet, but it could.
So our first section, a reckoning in a mirror. You know, every big transformation starts with that one moment of brutal honesty, that reckoning. And for you, this journey begins on a quiet morning, in an apartment that feels a lot more like a cage, just staring at your own reflection and feeling the absolute crushing weight of your past.
So this is where you are. This is your ordinary world. The active addiction might be over, but man, the wreckage is everywhere. You're stuck in a dead-end, soul-crushing job. The trust with your family, it's been torched. And you feel this deep, heavy shadow debt, not just to the people you hurt, but to yourself, to your country. And it all boils down to this one desperate whisper: let me work it off tenfold. And just like in the movies, the universe seems to answer. But it's not some big, dramatic lightning bolt. It's an FBI bulletin that just pops up on your social media feed, and it tells the story of this guy, Ed Cressy. You don't know it yet, but his story is about to become your roadmap.
And this is where it hits you. The parallel is just undeniable. Cressy's past is a direct reflection of your present. I mean, look at this. He spent over a decade lost to meth, constantly draining police resources, and he hit his rock bottom in a jail cell. Now, your path is different in the details, sure, the substance, the specifics, but that core feeling of being trapped in a cage of your own making, it's identical. He's the proof. He's the proof that another way is actually possible.
Okay, section 2. The first step is a call. Look, seeing the map is one thing, but actually taking that first step, that's a whole different ballgame. This next part is all about making that leap, moving from just thinking about it to doing something, from despair to one single terrifying act of hope.
And of course, right on cue, that little voice of doubt starts screaming in your head. That self-sabotage, that imposter syndrome, you know? Seeing someone else succeed can be inspiring, yeah, but it can also make it feel completely out of reach. Who am I to think I could ever pull that off? It's that critical moment of hesitation that could stop everything before it even starts.
But you don't let it stop you. You push through it. And that first step, it's not some grand, heroic gesture. It's small, it's concrete, it's manageable. You just pick up the phone and you dial the exact same national helpline number that Ed Cressy once called. The 1,000-mile journey starts with a single phone call.
And you can see here how it starts to build, right? This kind of change doesn't happen overnight. It's built brick by painful brick. You make the call. That leads to a list of local NA meetings. You drag yourself there, fidgeting in the back, feeling like an alien. And then, you do the hardest thing of all. You share one single, vulnerable piece of truth. And in that moment, you lay the first brick for a whole new life.
All right, section 3, forged and sobriety. So the foundation's set. Now comes the hard part, the real work. And this isn't some quick montage of easy wins. No, this is about a period of quiet, intense, deliberate work on yourself. The source material calls it the quiet forge, and that's exactly what it is. A place where a new you is hammered into shape.
This timeline really lays out what that work looks like. It starts with just getting your feet under you in recovery. But look how quickly it pivots. For the next 4 months, you're not just staying sober. You are actively, obsessively building new skills. Then it all culminates in month 6 with the incredibly difficult work of making amends and, just as important, forging a brand new resume, a new identity on paper.
And this, right here, is the real magic of the whole journey. This is the alchemy. You take things you are always fascinated by, psychology, how media can manipulate people, and you start to formalize it. You're not going deep into debt at a university. You're devouring free online courses. You're not waiting for someone to give you a job. You're building a shadow portfolio on GitHub, showing your work. You're turning your interests into powerful, practical tools, into hammers to build a new future.
Okay, Section 4, Facing the Ghosts. You've got the new skills. You have 6 months of sobriety under your belt. Now it's time. It's time to face the biggest ghost of them all. It's time to take your past and walk it right into the most high-stakes environment you can imagine. An official job application to the FBI.
I mean, just look at this resume title. It's so audacious, but it's brilliant. It doesn't try to hide your past. It reframes the whole thing. You're not just some applicant. You're a self-taught behavioral forensics enthusiast. You are directly connecting your personal story of redemption to your desire to serve the country. It's a power move.
But sending the application, that's the easy part. Now you got to run the gauntlet. And that means a face-to-face suitability chat and a polygraph test. Both of them are designed to probe every single dark corner of your past. There is absolutely nowhere to hide.
And when they push you, when they ask you about the darkest parts of your story, this is your answer. This is the pivot. You don't make excuses, you own it, and then you reframe it as a unique strength. You basically argue that the very thing that almost destroyed your life has given you a kind of resilience, a unique insight that you can now use to protect other people. And guess what? It works. You don't get a clean slate, nobody does. But you get something even better, a conditional clearance. It's not a free pass, but it's a key. It's a foot in the door. You've made it through the fire and you've proven that your past isn't a liability, it's an asset.
So you're in. And this is where the story shifts again. This final act, it's not really about recovery anymore. It's about application. It's about taking everything you learned in the shadows and using it to find the signals in the noise, to protect the future.
Once you're inside, you find a mentor, another analyst who, it turns out, is also a former addict. And he gives you this incredible piece of wisdom. He tells you that your scars, the very things that society sees as damage, well, they're actually like lenses. They let you see threats in a way that other people just can't. And this table just lays it out so clearly. Look at this. Because you understand deflection on a personal level, you can unmask propaganda. Because you recognize the patterns of escape in your own life, you can spot the loops that lead people to radicalization. Your firsthand experience with manipulation makes you incredible at spotting the tiny tails in a deepfake. The skills are exactly the same, it's just the context that has changed. And this is the payoff. This is the moment it all comes together. A couple years down the line, you're a lead analyst on a major case, and you crack it. Not with some fancy new tech, but with your insight. You recognize the psychological patterns, the deflection, the manipulation, that hunger for connection, because you've lived it. It is the ultimate full circle moment. So that shadow debt, it's paid. Tenfold. The case is solved. Your relationships with your family are finally starting to heal. And now you're doing for other people what Ed Cressy's story once did for you. You go and speak to reentry groups. You've become the signpost. You're the echo in the dark for the next person who's lost. And that's where this story leaves us. It's a blueprint, right? A what if. The source material turns it all back to you with this one final prompt. The path has been laid out. The story is yours to tell. So, what page are you going to write?